Hi guys, and welcome back to Riley's on the Road.
We were up at our aunt's cabin in Wyoming for a couple of weeks.
Let's check out what happened.
My parents and the girls left the trailer in Yuma and drove up to the mountains in Wyoming to stay a while at our great aunt's cabin. The altitude difference from Yuma to Cheyenne was about 6,000 feet. That's a lot for human bodies to deal with in so little time and was even harder on my bunny. Sadly, Prince was having a really bad time with it, so instead of taking him up to the cabin, we had him stay with a pet sitter. By the time we got him back, he seemed much better, so I think it was the best decision for him. Lena and I flew into Denver from Florida. The cabin is super snowy, and we have to park the truck in a parking lot and take snow machines to the house.
There was a bunch of fresh snow, so we took the snowmobiles out to ride around. I got to drive the snowmobile a little, which was a lot of fun, except I kept getting stuck because the snow was so powdery. We even hooked a sled to the back of the Ranger to go on rides. Unfortunately, the day did not end well, as many of you have heard.
While we were riding snowmobiles, David and Brietta wrecked and broke Brietta's humerus badly near the shoulder joint. Immediately, Aunt Christy and I took her to the local hospital in Laramie about 1 hour away. There are no pediatric orthopedic surgeons in town, so we tried to get her moved to Children's Hospital in Denver, around 3 hours away. With the blizzard going full force by that evening, we were unable to move her. We were snowed into the hospital, and she was in excruciating pain even with heavy-duty pain meds. Still unable to move her 2 days later, and with the amount of pain not controllable during transport, we opted for a local orthopedic surgeon to operate to put the bones back together and pin them in place. We followed up with pediatric orthopedist 2 days after discharge from the hospital. We are so grateful for the wonderful care she received, that it happened near family, so we had support, and that kids are resilient.
While Brietta was in the hospital, Melina, Gemma, Dad, and I were up at the cabin with Jason. We got lots of snow and had a good time. It was super pretty outside. We shoveled the porch off multiple times, played games, went sledding, and made what we like to call snow flops.
Snow monster!
After a few days, Dad went down the mountain to be with Brietta and traded spots with Aunt Christy. We tried to bring the Ranger through the fresh powder, but it got stuck, so we brought all the stuff to the parking lot on sleds.
After Brietta was discharged, we all came down to stay at my grandma's house in Cheyenne before heading back to Arizona. We drove for 3 days to get the trailer in Yuma and take it to the next spot. Brietta and Mom couldn't drive, so they took a plane to meet up with us.
This was one of our many planned side trips without the RV. We tend to stay in hotels with suites so everyone gets a bed and breakfast. And even though we bring sandwiches, we still do a fair amount of eating out. This time we had plenty of room in the truck since Melina and Ashlyn met us there from Florida. Then Brietta and I flew back to California. We always love going to Aunt Christy's cabin, and although this time we had a freak accident, we continue to make plans to visit as often as possible. If you haven't been to Neater's Cafe, you really should stop by. It's one of my very favorite delis.
We had a nice time with family, and we are grateful to have so much support.
See you next week on Riley's on the Road. Bye!